BJ Mafia, what's poppin'? What's going on, Jags fans, man? How does it feel to be 1-0? Happy Victory Monday. You guys are gonna be seeing this on Tuesday, but happy Victory Monday to you guys as I'm recording this video. Your Jags are 1-0. We're 1-0 in the AFC South. Every other team in the AFC South is 0-1, which means that the Jaguars sit atop the AFC South all by themselves. Trevor Lawrence gets his first Week 1 victory of his career. The Jaguars get their first win in Indianapolis since 2017, which was the last time the Jaguars made the AFC Championship game. I wonder if that's a coincidence, but nonetheless, happy Victory Monday to you guys, and I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. Today's video is the Jaguars, the good and the bad, and something that I want to implement every single week with you guys, because when I do recap videos talking about the games, I try to go over both sides of the ball, and I'd really try to give a pretty, vague analysis of what I actually watched, and sometimes I'm a couple beers down, so I don't always have the best analysis, but I actually want to go ahead and start implementing this into the channel now, because this is a video where I get to talk about the good and the bad, something that I noticed every single week with the Jaguars on both sides of the ball, and I can really talk about it more in depth with you guys. So if you guys do like today's video, and if you guys do like this concept, please let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. And a couple of things I want to say real quick before we actually hop into this video is, one, like I said, if you guys like this video, please let me know in the comments down below. Two, do you guys like this background better than the one that I normally do? I can never find out which one I like better. I'm super indecisive. So let me know if you guys like that in the comments. And then three is, I officially applied for the Jaguars social media intern job. And I just want to say, regardless if I get it or not, I know that one, my time is coming when it comes to the Jaguars. But two, thank you guys for continuously supporting me, man. I will never, ever forget about the come up. I'll never forget about the grind and the amount of hours and blood, sweat, and tears that I really put into my passion and my craft. And you guys see the work that I do. You guys are always supporting me, and man, it means the world to me. Words can never describe it. And I just want to let you guys know a little bit of a life update when it comes to that. Hopefully we get some good news, but nonetheless, I'm just gonna keep grinding out here on YouTube until further notice. But Jags fans, let's actually get into Jaguars versus the Colts, Week 1, the good and the bad. And what we're gonna do with this series is we're always gonna talk about the bad first and on some positivity with the good. So let's talk about 3 bad when it came to the Jaguars in Week 1. And the first bad is gonna come with the offensive line, and I mean more specifically with left guard Ben Bartch. But let's talk about the offensive line and how they performed in Week 1. And everything is per PFF. I want to clarify my statement. So the Jaguars offensive line this past week versus the Colts allowed 2 sacks, 1 quarterback hit, 5 QB hurries, and 8 quarterback pressures. To me, that's not going to cut it. Now, the Colts front 7 is extremely talented. You're going to talk about guys like DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye, Shaquille Leonard, and a handful of others. I know that front 7 is legit, and they showed up on Sunday afternoon despite it being in a loss. But those numbers from the offensive line for me in Week 1, even though they've had their amount of injuries as well too, and obviously Cam Robinson suspended the first 4 games, that's not going to cut it for me. Number 16 needs to be protected and needs to be happy. I don't want to see a blade of grass on his jersey unless he's sliding in that turf. Otherwise, the Jaguars offensive line, I guess for the most part, really outside of that, was on par and subpar for the rest of the afternoon. But when you talk about the Jags offensive line as a whole, like I said, per PFF, they were graded as the 18th best pass blocking grade with a 64.2 grade. Dead last at number 30 because the Jets and the Bills have not played as I'm recording this video. So dead last in run blocking grade at a 38.5. And the Jaguars run game only averaged 3 yards per carry. Like I said, I know the Colts front 7 is good, but we still need to work on that. But like I said, I'm really specifically talking about Ben Bartch, right? Anton Harrison had his struggles, but for the most part, he was okay. Walker Little, same thing, had some struggles. Ben Bartch really needed to do a much better job, even though I understand he was coming off a significant injury. He did miss a lot of time throughout training camp and throughout the preseason due to the fact that he was nursing off of that injury, and also he hasn't had a lot of time to really mesh back with the offensive line, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a break. But Ben Bartch, Sunday afternoon, compared to other NFL guards in Week 1, had an offensive grade of a 48.1, which was the 16th worst, a run blocking grade of a 53.4, which was tied for 20th worst, a pass blocking grade of a 30.3, which was the 12th worst. He also allowed 1 sack, 1 QB hit, 1 quarterback hurry, and allowed 3 quarterback pressures. Ben Bartch has got to do a much better job, but like I said, I expect better from him. I expect better from the offensive line. And as the season continues to progress, I expect them to continuously get better. And now that Chris Jones has signed his new deal, I wonder if he's going to play Sunday afternoon. As of right now, there's no news out there. I'm just speculating. Obviously, I think it'd be best and ill-advised for the Chiefs to put him out there week 2. That's not smart in my opinion. But let's get into the next bad when it comes to the Jaguars. That's going to come with new play caller, Press Taylor. Now, Press Taylor was the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars last season, and apparently Doug Peterson and Press Taylor were play calling the games last season together. Now, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Press Taylor in 2022 was doing a lot of the play calling towards the back half of the season, which maybe was a big reason for Trevor Lawrence and his ascension that we saw weeks 9 through the rest of the season. Don't quote my words on that. That's just from what I'm recalling off the top of my head. But Press Taylor, as a full-time play caller now, really kind of, made a lot of Jaguar fans very hesitant about his play calling in week 1. And I can say that a lot too. There were some very specific things that stood out to me when it comes to Press Taylor's play calling. Not only were the Jaguars 1 of 3 on 4th down conversions and 3 of 12 on 3rd down conversions, 3 straight runs by Tank Bixby after he had that interception go right through his hands, or I guess the pass that went through his hands that led to an interception. Press Taylor the next possession gave Tank Bixby the ball 3 straight times. The Jaguars go 3 and out. That's not going to cut it. The Jaguars also ran a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 2. That's not going to cut it in my opinion. And Travis Etienne on 4th and 1 gets a toss play to the left. That's not going to work in my opinion. Press Taylor, it's his first full game calling plays as the new play caller. I'm going to give him a break. The Jaguars still put 31 points up on the board, but there's some things that definitely need to be improved there, especially if we're going to take down a Kansas City team, regardless if Chris Jones or Travis Kelce is not there. This is still the reigning and defending Super Bowl champions. Now, the last bad I want to get into is with rookie running back Tank Bixby. Now, Tank Bixby only had 10 snaps yesterday afternoon, but a lot of those snaps was a cause for concern from me and from a lot of Jags fans. Tank Bixby yesterday afternoon had 7 attempts for 13 yards, 1 touchdown, which was the 1-yard touchdown run, 1 fumble, and essentially had an interception where Trevor Lawrence threw the ball right to him and it bounced off his hands and it was intercepted going the other way. Tank Bixby really, to put it lightly, and excuse my French, shit the bed in the first half. Let's just call it what it is, okay? Tank Bixby did not play well in that first half. But it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. He finished strong. When the Jaguars got into the red zone, he helped push that pile all the way to the goal line. The next play, Tank Bixby takes it in for the 1-yard score. So it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. He did significantly better in that second half, and I think Tank Bixby, once he kind of gets those butterflies out of his stomach, and especially that rookie play where, Trevor Lawrence did fumble the ball, Tank Bixby recovered the ball, but didn't fall on the ground with it. You play to the whistle. I understand you've got a lot of nerve. I understand you got a lot of anxiety. In your first NFL game, rookie mistake. I'm going to give you a pass at your first game, but we got to be better than that. Tank Bixby, not about how you start. It's about how you finish. He finished well. Let's carry that momentum into week 2 and for the rest of the season. Now getting into some positivity for the Jaguars and the good that I noticed with the Jaguars in week 1 versus the Colts. Let's get into the first good, and that's going to come with quarterback at the helm, William Trevor Lawrence, Mr. Sunshine, the prince that was promised, Jacksonville's Jesus, whatever nickname you have for him. Trevor Lawrence, I thought, played very well in week 1. Yes, he had 2 turnovers. Hell, I could throw those 2 turnovers away if I'm being, completely biased, and I can be a little bit objective and still say that, yeah, some of those turnovers, I guess, were on him. Trevor Lawrence had the interception that Tank Bixby had that went the other direction. Trevor Lawrence also had the blindside fumble where he was trying to throw the ball, but he didn't have the forward motion, and obviously DeForest Buckner returned it for a touchdown. Despite all of that, Trevor Lawrence had a very good game, 24 of 32 for 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception on the afternoon. Trevor Lawrence threaded the needle to a couple of those passes to Calvin Ridley, just like, wow, how did he get that ball placement there? Evan Ingram on the sideline, that touchdown pass to Zay Jones, even the touchdown pass to Calvin Ridley, the first one of the season, where he scrambled left and threw it across his body with DeForest Buckner in his face. Just an incredible throw, and I mean, we know Trevor Lawrence is extremely capable of making those kinds of throws. Just really what a hell of a game it was by Trevor Lawrence. Yes, there are sometimes some ill-advised throws, and especially that one to Christian Kirk where it was behind him. Trevor Lawrence is a gunslinger. He knows what he is and what he isn't capable of doing, but I do love that mentality from him where he's going to consistently go out there and keep putting the pressure on the defense. Trevor Lawrence has the capabilities of making those throws, so I have no problem with him doing that because I want him to continue to be aggressive. Now getting into the second good for the Jaguars, it's going to come with newly acquired wide receiver Calvin Ridley, who made his Jaguars debut and really made his first NFL debut since 2021, where he only played 5 games. Calvin Ridley have a hell of a game, man. 11 targets, 8 receptions, 101 yards, and 1 touchdown. Calvin Ridley per PFF was graded as the 12th highest wide receiver in terms of offensive grade and his receiving grade as a whole compared to other wide receivers. Calvin Ridley looked the part. He looks exactly what the Jaguars traded him for. Anyone who thought he was going to have rust, y'all can throw that out the window. Calvin Ridley have a hell of a day. The explosion, the route running, everything that we knew Calvin Ridley could be, he proved to be that and even more. Calvin Ridley brings this dynamic X factor to this wide receiver position and to this offense. He's a dynamic playmaker. And what a hell of a game it was for Calvin Ridley in his Jaguars debut. This guy is going to be an all-pro this season if he stays healthy. Knock on wood. Now let's get into the last Jaguars good I noticed from Sunday afternoon, and that's going to come with Josh Allen, man. There has been a lot of Jaguars naysayers over the years, and especially this, kind of offseason when it comes to Josh Allen going into a contract year. And this is a big year for him, right? He really is trying to play for another contract, and I hope this man stays in Jacksonville for the rest of his career. Josh Allen, have a hell of a game, arguably the best game of his career. 10 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 2 quarterback hits, and was graded an 86.9 PFF grade compared to all the other edges that have played so far in week 1. He was graded as the 8th highest edge this past weekend. Josh Allen put together arguably his most dominant and best overall performance in week 1. And granted, it was against a rookie quarterback in Anthony Richardson, but nonetheless, Josh Allen knows going into a contract year, he's got to play his ass off this season, and he played a hell of a game. I said it once, and I'm going to say it yet again. Josh Allen is going to put together a career year this season because he's in the 5th year of his rookie deal on his 5th year option. And Josh Allen, pay this man. I want this guy in Jacksonville. He wants to be a Jaguar. He embraces the city, the fan base, and the culture. You make room to pay Trevor Lawrence. You make room to pay for Josh Allen and next Calvin Ridley and then Tyson Campbell. You pay those kinds of guys. Those are franchise cornerstone pieces. And Josh Allen may not be the most perfect edge in the world. He may not be a Nick Bosa or a TJ Watt, but Josh Allen is one hell of a player, and he's one hell of a man and an athlete. I want this guy to stay in Jacksonville for the remainder of his career. But Jags fans, that's it for my list when it comes to the good and the bad. I want to do 3 bad and 3 good every week when I actually talk about the players and what I actually saw from the team in those games. So Jaguar fans, like I said, if you guys like this video and you guys like the idea of this video, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you guys also go ahead and drop me a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed today's video. But Jags fans, we got to get ready and prepared for week 2, man. I hope that you guys go down to the bank, lock down the bank for the Jaguars and the Chiefs matchup. Not entirely sure if I'll be there, man. I hope I am there, but I can't make any promises. I also did apply for a media credential pass for the game. The chances of me getting that are slim to none, but you never know. Maybe I should remain optimistic about that. But nonetheless, regardless if I'm at the game or not, man, you guys go out there, have a great time, be safe, have fun, man. And make sure y'all lock down the bank because I got a preview video coming out this week as well too. And before I let you guys get going, man, make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But Jags fans, thanks again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, AKA BJ. I'm out, y'all. Go Jags, baby. Peace.